Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming again. We're going to have another look at some more Lumineth Realm Lords information that was released on Warhammer Community by Games Workshop. We're just going to run through the article and talk a little bit about all the sort of stuff, like tidbits that we got of like what's coming and stuff like that. And so this one in particular looks at spear phalanxes and runic symbolism is what it says it's all about. And so, who are they? That's the first part. The spear phalanxes of the Vanari Auralan Wardens. Vanari Auralan Wow, that's going to take a lot of effort to get right. Vanari Auralan Wardens are the mainstay of the Lumineth battle line. They fight with synergy and grace that the lesser races couldn't even begin to fathom. While the arrows of the Auralan Sentinels and magical bombardments of their mages rain down upon the enemies, the Wardens stoically hold their ground, awaiting to the desperate charge of their embattled foes. Well, two very important things. There's units we have not seen there, so we know we're going to get some mage heroes. That's what this is hinting to, so cool. And Auralan Sentinels, the archers, that we've seen with like that 3-string bow that's in one of the pictures, like half cut out, and it was a rumor engine as well, which is really cool. So we're going to have spearmen and archers. That's really cool. Back in the old days, that was like the core of a high elf army was spearmen and archers, or spear archers, Northern Sea Guard. Heartbeats before combat is joined, the sunmetal tips of the Warden spears flare into life with the solar energies they have absorbed, tearing through armor, flesh and bone as the Wardens skewer their would-be attackers with thrusts of lethal precision. They are led by High Wardens, imperious Lumineth officers who stand at the rear of each phalanx. Easily identified by their decorative back banners, the High Wardens direct the warriors under their command and channel the magic of Faish into their enchanted weapons to the utter ruin of their enemies. So, interesting like facts here. Like, this was thrown about on Twitter a lot. Like, thinking into rules and like how they sort of talk narrative, and then the rules do play out in the narrative in a way. There was talk about like maybe they're going to have, if you charge them, they're going to have some like offense in the hero phase, like some mortal wound damage sort of thing, which would be cool. Like, because you're charging these phalanxes and like this sunmetal glows, and they get you in the charge phase if you charge them and do some damage to you. And High Wardens, you'll remember the High Warden was one of the Swifthawk agent names, so they've taken that. We've got backbanners, so it's cool. These dudes sort of lead them into battle. If you can see the middle picture that I've got up, the dude in the middle is the High Warden. He's got this little lantern thing there as well, which is cool. Maybe that's something of how he channels the magic. And you'll also notice, you can't see it in this picture, but you'll see on the right hand of the flag in the picture I've got up, that there's a moon. On the other side, there's actually a sun. So that's interesting to have a look at. Now we're going to talk about the miniatures. As the Auralan Wardens fight as a phalanx, they have been designed a variety of defensive poses, with leaf-shaped shields to the fore and long spears thrust forward to face the enemy. The shields each have a crescent-shaped nook, enabling the warriors to support the weight of their spear shafts and thrust their weapons forward even when their shields are interlocked. The shields themselves are interchangeable and feature intricate woven lattice work on the unarmoured side, hinting at the incredible craftsmanship that is synonymous with everything the Lumineth create. Cool. So it does seem like the more and more we read about these dudes are going to be super defensive, and they're going to have a whole bunch of... I reckon they're going to have a lot of abilities when they get charged. Like I was saying before, with like the mortal wounds potentially when they charge, or like they've got counter charge rules and things to do when they get charged. You might even find maybe something similar to like what the Eternal Guard have with the Fortress of Boughs special rule. Like, could be interesting to see where they go with that. The models themselves look like fantastic. There's a picture on Warhammer Community of them next to Plague Monks, and they certainly do look like they're on bigger bases than 25s. I'm not sure if it's 32s, because it doesn't quite look big enough to be 32s, but it could be. It could also be that these dudes might be on 28mm bases, potentially, which would be interesting. There's like rumours like these spears are really, really, really long. Could we see like a 3-inch weapon range, perhaps? You can all sort of see. It's cool to see the shields are interchangeable, so it looks like the heads are too, just looking at the sculpts. So there should be some cool ability to customise the models and have them like a decent variety. Which is like sort of the price you pay. Like everyone likes all these dynamic kits that come out, but you do lose some of the multi-part plastic kit ability that we used to have back in the day. Like for the ability to have all these dynamic poses, they need to be sculpted in a certain way, and it's hard to make that sort of process multi-option, except for very minor details. So what's cool about these guys wearing very stock standard sort of pose is that maybe a lot of them can be like multi-part, and like you can have a lot of options here to customize them. With the exception of the triangular tabards of scale mail, the lower halves of the Wardens remain unarmoured. These areas of body are protected by the interlocking shields of the phalanx. Meanwhile, the upper halves feature a mix of male and female torsos, each clad in a layer of scale and plate armour, with elegant curved pauldrons. Their armour is bedecked with sun and moon icons, symbolising the twin gods of Haish for their warriors in neither Tiranoc nor Teklian exclusively. The interchangeable heads, so there we go, of the Auralan Wardens are protected by full helms and crowned with exotic plumes. Cool, so we got some decent information here. This is Tyrion and Teclis's army, which is like the big thing about all of this. So we're probably going to get a Tyrion model as well as Teclis, which is going to be awesome. There was like a lot of talk when they released the Teclis model of maybe on the other side there's supposed to be Tyrion, or like that Tyrion was photoshopped out of it somehow. That's an interesting thing. There were rumours floating around of like Tyrion on like some 8-legged horse thing, which is like a big Norse mythology thing apparently. I'm not too sure on like the actual Norse mythology. It's something I'm not very knowledgeable on. But it's sun and moon, which is cool. So like obviously Tyrion is probably the sun, Teclis is the moon. And the heads are interchangeable, like I was saying. Each of the Auralan warriors carries a short sword strapped to their backs. Though not designed to be their primary weapons, these blades will be drawn for self-defense should an enemy get inside their reach, or to extricate the spears should the enemy become kebabbed on the shaft. Yeah, cool. The runes to the Lumineth. So, yeah, before we jump into the runes, just have a little bit of chat on the one. They look like they're quite a customizable kit. That, they certainly just don't look like they would be on 25s. They've got quite a wide pose on their legs. So I'm definitely think they're over 28, if not 32 millimeter bases. And so the runes. To the Lumineth, runes are more than just a form of symbolism. They represent the way of life and a fundamental part of their civilization. In addition to serving as a type of language, runes represent the higher forms of learning and enlightenment embodied by the Haitian elves. They are the Vanari Auralan Wardens display runes so overtly on their shields only serves to reinforce that they are students of far more than just war. Integral to this runic mandala, the Lumineth evolution of the pantheonic mandala, which once depicted the elven gods from the world that was. In addition to representing an amalgam of the runes of the 4 Haitian geometric spirits, their more elaborate versions incorporate the twin aspects of sun and moon, both separate yet intrinsically linked, just as the godly twins they embody them. And you got there's a cool picture on the Warhammer community site if I come. And then we're left with, it's not just the Vanari Auralan Wardens who are bedecked in runic symbols. I'm going to get that name right sometime soon. tune in next time. We're looking at the Fleet Hoof Cavalry of the Lumineth Realm Lords. Cool, so we're going to have a look at the cavalry next time. I really look forward to having a look at them. So yeah, these dudes seem pretty cool. Like, I really like the whole like rune sort of thing. It's interesting because like runes are like something we sort of associate, like for old fantasy players, runes are something you associate with like dwarves. And to see elves using it, like a take on elves using runes and stuff is quite cool. I'm a big fan of the Lumineth models. I cannot wait for this army to come out. Can't wait to get some more information. With like the information that we've been given and you've seen so far, like what are you most looking forward to? What are you hoping gets filled in the gaps? What are you hoping for like rules wise, or what do you think might happen rules wise? I'd be interested to hear all your thoughts on stuff. Leave some comments down below and let me know what you think about all of this. And yeah, so that's a wrap for today. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Don't forget to like the video and chuck a subscribe on the channel. We're fast approaching 1,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who already supports the channel, and thank you to everyone who decides to support the channel by giving us a subscribe. Thank you to all our Patreons, lastly. And if you want to join our Patreon community, you can join at Sinful Gaming on Patreon. I'll see you all again real soon. Thanks for listening, everyone.